Hey guys, Sniper Eye 2010 here, back again on the Sandbox. This time around, what we're going to be talking about today is the history of the video game franchise Halo. Now, this is one of my absolute favorite video game franchises of all time. It's the first-person shooter video game that got me into FPS games. It's the series that got me into the Xbox, and it's one of my absolute favorites as far as story goes. Now in this video, we're going to cover just the core games in the series, Halo 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. We're not going to cover the side games like Halo Wars 1 and 2. We might talk about them a little bit towards the end of the video, but for now, we're going to stick to the core games in this video, so we're going to try to keep it a little bit short for you guys. Now, the first in the series was, of course, Halo Combat Evolved, which came out on November 15, 2001. Originally, it was supposed to be a real-time strategy game for the Microsoft PCs, but Microsoft made a deal with Bungie. They had a new console coming to the market, the Xbox. They wanted a game to launch with it. So, Halo Combat Evolved thus became a first-person shooter. It's set in the future around 2550, and you play as a super soldier called a Spartan. They call him the Master Chief, but his designations is John, no last name as far as we know, and then Spartan 117. Now, the human race is on the run in the Pillar of Autumn, in a spaceship designed for space warfare. When they're running from the Covenant, an alien race that's basically bent on destroying all of humanity. When they're on the run, they come across a massive super weapon called the Halo, which through their research and through their discoveries, they find out it's just a massive super weapon created by an ancient species designed to wipe out all life in the entire universe. So, what's the Spartans' mission at this point? Keep the Covenant from activating the Halo ring and destroying all life. Now, Halo 2 came out on November 9th, 2004. It was a very highly anticipated game by the fans with everything we were seeing with all the gameplay trailers, new mechanics come with it. But despite setbacks, Bungie released an awesome sequel to the series. Not only do we have new mechanics like hijacking enemy vehicles, dual wielding, new vehicle types that we can use during the gameplay, but at this point we now have two story arcs we got to follow. Not only did we get to play as the Master Chief and the human side while they were battling on Earth and eventually on a new Halo ring, but there was a new Covenant we got to play as, the Arbiter. He was disgraced by his Covenant leaders because of him not stopping the Master Chief from destroying Halo, so now he's become a suicidal leader bent on doing the Covenant's bidding. Not only does he go on these missions faithfully doing so, but eventually he starts to unravel the secrets that the prophets, the leaders of the Covenant, were hiding with their quote-unquote great journey, which was really the activation of the Halo rings and killing everything in the world and in the universe. Now, with this new game in the series, not only do we have the usual 16-player multiplayer that we got from the first one, but Halo 2 brought something totally new to the table. Multiplayer online, the first in the Xbox series on the original console. It helped pave the way for a lot of modern first-person shooters as how they played online, what game settings they used, and security with them.
You are, all of you, vermin. Cowering in the dirt, thinking, what? That you might escape the coming fire?
Now, with the third in the series, Halo 3, not only was it several years after Halo 2 that we got this game, we also got it on a new generation console. The Xbox 360 definitely brought more to the table than the original console did. And with it, it also brought a new story. The Chief's back after hitching a ride on a Forerunner ship, the ancient aliens who created the Halo rings, after facing off with the Covenant in the Flood on the Covenant homeworld, he's now back on Earth. Not only are we playing as two separate characters this time around now in co-op, but with the 4-player online co-op, there's 4 separate characters you got to play as. The Chief, the Arbiter, and 2 hierarchy elites that were following the Arbiter. Now with it, we're back on Earth facing off against the Covenant and eventually the Flood and falling into a new world called the Ark. It was essentially what created the Halo rings. It's what the Forerunners left behind to carry on their legacy, and in hopes that the Flood ever came back, a way of annihilating them. With the Chief battling the Covenant once more on a Forerunner homeworld, he was having to fight for the life of not only himself and his fellow allies, but for all of humanity throughout the entire universe. At this point, they not only destroy the Ark, but the Chief becomes stranded on his way back. Stuck on the ship in the middle of space, we think that's it for the Chief. Little did we know though that there was going to be more to come. Two years later, on September 22nd, 2009, we got a game that we did not see coming at first. It was a whole new storyline, a whole new concept of gameplay. Halo 3 ODST. It was designed as a sequel slash prequel in the middle of the game. In the third game, we ended up seeing the Covenant get into a slip space rupture inside the city. Little did we know, at the same time, there was a squad of Helljumpers dropping in on New Mombasa, the city they were fighting in. And at this point, they're trying to survive in the city. We followed the story of a rookie joining this squad and ended up going through flashback gameplay through the different characters in the squad. In my opinion though, this was the best of the series so far. It was a brand new story, brand new gameplay. We're no longer facing off as super soldiers against the Covenant, but instead as a normal human who's using his tech and his weapons to get by inside the city. They really brought an all-star cast to this one as well, between Nathan Fillion, Adam Baldwin, and several other characters from several series. It was also one of the ones that fans both loved and hated. There were several fans who hated this game because it was not as Halo was supposed to be, but then the story, through some fans' eyes, was the best in the series. And that's one side I'm definitely with on this one. Later, we got a prequel to the entire trilogy that fans didn't see coming. Halo Reach. It was something that we were hoping for, but we did not see coming at first. But with this, we got to experience the story of what was going on prior to the first Halo contact. You get to play as a Spartan named Noble 6 as part of a Spartan team, trying to help defend Reach from the Covenant, the most massive military installation planet in all of the UNSC. In this game, you got to customize how your Spartan looked and how he acted, as far as with the voice and the look and feel and color. With that, the only name we get is Noble 6, but that was so that Bungie can make it to where we could customize it to be our own character. Basically put our own light in the entire franchise. Little did we know, after this game, that was the final line Bungie had on this. With the rest of Halo Reach done in the back of their minds, Bungie split off and created a new company as they were leaving from Microsoft, 343 Industries. 343 was comprised of members of the original Bungie team and a few fans that were taken over. And from this point on, they were taking on the Halo franchise.
Cortana,
then on November 6, 2012, something that we did not see coming at first happened. The Chief was back, this time 7 years after the final battle on the Ark. This time around, him and Cortana are facing off against a whole new enemy, the Didact. He's basically a bad Forerunner who was locked away by his fellow brethren. At this point, we're fighting on a whole new planet we know nothing about. We're a whole new squad of Spartan 4s that the Chief knows absolutely nothing about. We're starting to learn what's happened in the 7 years prior, what allies we've made, what enemies we have made, and what the Covenant has been up to ever since. This whole new enemy as well starts to bring Chief on a whole new path he never saw coming.
our duty as soldiers is to protect humanity, whatever the cost.
Then on November 11, 2014, with a new console we have, the Xbox One, we've already had a remake of Halo Combat Evolved that was on the 360. But 343, being the fans they are of the franchise as well, decided to bring something new to the table. They remastered all 4 Halo games and then ODST as well and brought them to the Xbox One with new graphics. And with this, we got Halo 2 Anniversary, which was a complete remaster on the graphics. It was something that the fans were very excited about. Not only were they bringing all 4 original games back with their storylines and the first 2 being fully remastered, every map in the entire 4 games that we had was coming back with them. Not to mention from Halo 3 ODST on, there was firefighting. They were bringing that along with it on every map that they could. 343 took a step in the right direction in most fans' minds, but then after this, the next game they brought on, they did completely opposite. While 343 was working on the remaster for the past 4 games, they brought in Activision for Halo 5 Guardians. It was a totally new story dealing with the Master Chief and his original Blue Team being chased down by a brand new Spartan named Spartan Locke. A couple of familiar faces as well, including Buck from ODST coming back as a Spartan 4. We don't know what's going on at first, other than Locke is hunting down the Chief for whatever reason. The Chief has gone rogue. But with this game, unfortunately, Activision's input upset a lot of the fans of this series. No longer was it the same gameplay with Halo. We were starting to deal with aiming down the sights, lateral movements, much more quicker gameplay that a lot of fans were upset about, and it just didn't feel like Halo, unfortunately. And with it, this is the current game in the series while we wait on the next one. With the latest reveal at E3 2018, we know the next game coming to the series is named Halo Infinite on a brand new engine, the Slip Space engine on the Xbox One, going to be in 4K. Now, with that, we've also learned that they're going back to the same roots with the original games as far as gameplay mechanics, 4-player co-op, and so on. So far, we know nothing else other than what this trailer has revealed, so I'm going to let you guys watch and be the judge. This is Sniper 2010 signing off. If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe to the Sandbox.